welcome to Unity. It is great to have you here with us. Today we get to journey into one of those powerful transformative practices that puts this spiritual power within us into creating the world that is really on our hearts. Thank you for joining us in this journey, and I invite you to let the music, quiet time, all of it invite you to touch the beautiful, magnificent presence that you really are.
In this moment, in this place, in the stillness of our open hearts, we have come to share the presence of the God within and to hold a sacred space. In this moment, at this time, where we feel the oneness of all, we have come here to build a sanctuary of love. In this moment, in this place, in this moment, in this place. Good morning. Please remain seated and join us in singing "Go Inside to Find My God." I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God. I'll go inside to find my God. Thank you. My name is Sheila Gautreaux, and I'm one of your ministers here. I get to play here in the playground called Unity of Walnut Creek. Welcome to our service. would you please join me in greeting our friends online? Turn to the cameras and say hello. Hey. Allow me to acknowledge our performing artist today, Ronnie Ong. And she is backed up magnificently by our own house band, Fusion. If you are new to Unity, it is my pleasure to extend a very special welcome and to invite you to relish and savor this powerful journey of spiritual evolution that happens in Unity. We are an amazing movement, because that's what we are. We're a movement. And there is something so powerful about the Unity movement, and that is that we acknowledge every spiritual tradition in existence. We believe there is one God, but we truly believe and celebrate that there are many, many paths to that powerful presence. Another thing that's so amazing about us is that we are founded on the principles of prayer. Our Silent Unity has been praying for 125 years, nonstop, for people all over the world. Millions per year call in for prayer. And so there is an essence of prayer that is always permeating all of our Unity teachings and all of our Unity churches. And so I'd like for us to together enjoy an experience of this powerful affirmative prayer that is the landmark of Unity. Let us say our opening statement together prayerfully. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Take that in. Breathe it in through the heart. Personalize it for you, for me, for our world. And again, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Let us breathe it in even more deeply, allowing it to move through the very fiber of our being and extending outward, touching everyone in this space and online. And once more, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And we take that in, and we allow it to go further out into our community, out into our nation, out into the world, touching every heart that beats, joining with others so that we have peace in our world. And so it is. Please remain seated and join me in singing Breathe in Me, Breath of God.
That I may
Taking that deep breath through our hearts as we enter into a time of prayer and meditation together. Again, just breathing deep, breathing in the awareness of this love and life in which we live and move and have our beings, breathing out and gently letting go. And as we hear these words from the psalmist, let them be that invitation into the very center of our hearts.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still, be still, be still, and know that I am God.
We're invited into a place of stillness, a place of knowing, a place that is filled with peace. Mother, Father God, as we take this inner journey, draw us into this deep and beautiful peace. We know that you take this moment to awaken us to be aware of your presence all around us and within us. So we breathe in this beautiful presence. We breathe in this powerful love. For you are love. You are this presence of radiant love within us. You are this divine love that expresses as life within our bodies, that we feel in every texture of life. You are the very vitality that we see when we are touched by the green of the leaves on a tree, the majesty of clear blue skies, bird song, or that most beautiful of life-affirming moments, the laughter of a child. Mother, Father God, we find your presence all around us in that light within each person in our lives. For each one is the presence of your light. And as we glimpse your presence all around us, we now take this journey as you call us into your peace. This beautiful inner place in which we rest and dwell. For you are the peace within me. You are peace. I am peace. I am the serenity serenity that fills my heart. And I am stillness. The stillness where I can dwell at one with the one. And I now enter into this stillness. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Beloved presence, Mother, Father, God, you are that which breathes me, that which I breathe. You are that which loves through me, and that which I love. One with this beautiful love that you are in me. I now choose to send this love forth. As we send this love out, we know that the touch of this love heals, blesses, uplifts, prospers, and guides. And so as instruments of this love, we make the choice to send it forth from our hearts. We begin by sending it to our own bodies for health and vitality, wholeness. We send it to our minds and hearts for wisdom and understanding and peace. We send this love from our hearts to each person who is dear to us. We enfold each one in this divine love, knowing that each is blessed, healed, guided, prospered, uplifted, and that peace flows between us. Gently we breathe this love through our hearts. We send it across this spiritual community, healing and bringing forth the magnificent light and love within each person, and blessing everyone in their world. We embrace every prayer request brought here, and we know with each you are enfolded in divine love and lifted to that which is the highest. And this love flows through our hearts. It flows out across the communities in which we live, blessing, uplifting. It flows across our nation, healing, guiding. It flows to the peoples of the world, calling forth the peace in all hearts. This divine love flows through our hearts. We send it to all who join us in prayer, whether in mosque or synagogue, temple or church, whether gathered at home or on the hillside. For in seeking to know you, beloved presence, we are all one. And we send this love to our earth, bringing balance to all her systems, bringing rain to lands that are dry and quiet to places of storm. We send this love to all her creatures. And we take and radiate this love about the earth so that it touches the heart of every single person in the earth. For you are that love in every heart. And in this love, we are one. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Please join me. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And once again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world.
Be still, be still, be still, and know that I am God.
It is so. In the beauty, the joy, the peace within each of our hearts. Amen.
The forests of April awaken from sleep, and flowers unfold through the snow, and the wind rushes high, and the river runs deep, and it sings what you already know. You already know. Evermore I will love you. Evermore I will stay. Ever right here to hold you. Never so far away. And though I know sometimes You are ever my own. There's nothing as certain as seasons and time, and nothing will be as before. Still, every way and always, it's certain that I am with you forever, evermore. Evermore I will love you, evermore I will stay, ever right here to hold you, never so far away. And though I know sometimes you go to find your way alone, evermore I will love you, you are ever my own. And though I know sometimes you go to find your way alone, evermore I will love you, you are ever my own, ever my own, ever my own, forever and evermore.
Thank you, Ronnie. Good morning. My name is Jennifer Hooker, and it's my pleasure to highlight a few of the many upcoming events here at Unity of Walnut Creek. Next Sunday, after the 11:30 service, everyone is welcome at our town hall meeting. We gather to check in on the health of our community. How are we doing on our goals, our dreams, our finances, and our support for each other? This is a great chance to focus on this wonderful community of Unity of Walnut Creek, and child care will be available. Healing the Pain of Prejudice workshop is on the first Saturday in May, and this is a unique opportunity to explore and free ourselves from the pain that all of us have carried as a result of discrimination and prejudice. Tickets will be available on the patio today, and they're also available on our website. And I don't see Mike. So the details of these and other wonderful activities can be found in your bulletin and on our website. And until you hear the gong, enjoy a short moment to greet the people immediately around you.
I don't see her, so.
Please remain standing and get ready to have some fun as we sing together, This Little Light of Mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. gonna shake hands round the world. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna shake hands round the world. And I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna shake hands round the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Come on, it is. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yes, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. 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 Yeah, give yourselves a hand.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leads your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, its only seed. It's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never gets a chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give, and the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, when you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong, just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snow, lies the sea that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose.
Oh, thank you, Ron. Beautiful. let's just hang out for a moment. What a beautiful thing it is to be with a group of people who are committed to consciously awakening and growing spiritually and being in that kind of service to humankind. What a gift. So there's things that happen along that way of conscious growth. One of the things is there's a point at which we step into an amazing awareness of love, what it is, of it as a divine presence. And I've always thought of that as sort of an initiation that happens. And so when I was reading and came across someone talking about an initiation to love, and I went back into memory of some of the beautiful things I've seen of, these magnificent spiritual places, from cathedrals to monasteries to exquisite places in nature that are just filled with people of devotion and commitment. The experience of that initiation, and then I read something else and it painted it a little differently. So I thought I ought to read it to you. This is from one of the great Unity writers who had that gift of really understanding the unfolding of the soul. Her name is Florence Scovel Shinn. And she describes this process that we're in now. It says, every person on this planet is taking his or her initiation in love. Isn't that amazing understanding? And when you look, yeah, I think it's true. I think this is that time of awakening. And every person on this planet is taking his or her initiation in love. She goes on, whatever your problem, it is but a test in love. If you meet that test through love, your problem will be solved. If you do not meet that test through love, your problem will continue until you do. Okay, I think most of us have figured that one out by now. Okay, your problem is your initiation in love. Now that's not nearly as nice as I had imagined. Your problem is your initiation in love. And so I was thinking, so how do I know when I've got a problem? How do I know when that's taking place? What I realized is one of the first things that I become aware of in me is I enter into a state of consciousness called criticism. And I begin to describe, usually I start out with others. It just seems better that way. As wrong, less than, not okay, And I'm also aware that generally there's a significant part of that inner process that's going on that's directed at myself, because some of us are a little more creative at criticizing others, and some of us are a little more creative at criticizing ourselves. But basically, we're in that condemnation place. And what happens to us begins to set up an experience of choice. Catherine Ponder describes it this way. She says, when you run down someone else with your criticism and condemnation, you are opening the way for your own mind, body, and affairs to become run down. with ill health, unhappiness, confusion, and financial lack. Now, she's talking about it with someone else, but the truth is that same thing is true when our running down and criticism is ourself. As I was saying, sometimes we've got a little different balance in that, and it's helpful to be aware of which way you do it. But regardless, what's happening there is that we are using our creative energy to destroy. And we are very powerful creative beings. And now I'm talking about criticism, not problem solving. Okay, you have the thing at the office and someone does their thing again. And instead of taking the option of going to that person and saying, this isn't working for me, can we work this out? We go to the other option and turn to somebody who also knows they can't do anything about it and share with them, so-and-so is doing that thing again. It's a strange thing, but when we look at it spiritually, we begin to understand, where is this coming from? And it's coming from our inner experience of powerlessness. And that's a spiritual assignment. Because within us is infinite power. So when powerlessness comes up, it's really rooted in fear. And it comes up for an interesting reason. My understanding of our spiritual growth is that as a spiritual being here, moving through this third dimensional experience, we find this very dense. It's difficult to maintain the full awareness of who and what we really are and our spiritual connection to the universe and to all its potential. And so we gather that step by step, and we call those steps spiritual growth. But with each step, we let a little more love in. We let a little more of that divine presence to enter in and consciously touch us and awaken us. And it does this very strange thing. As it enters in, it takes that which is unlike itself and brings it into our conscious experience. So when we get to these points where we find this stuff going on and this discomfort and this condemnation and not all right, it's really an amazing accomplishment. Because we have come to the potential for a spiritual initiation. We have come to a powerful point of choice. Because just as criticism and fear destroys, love uplifts and transforms. And that is power. So, point of choice. One of the things that I recognized, but very often as we sit here as a spiritual community, we are holding a place of knowing that love, of knowing that goodness. So that individually when we come in and we have something that's coming up in us, there's a strength here to be able to look at what's happening with us and do that work and have the support of others in prayer and people remembering who we really are even when we forget. And sometimes when collectively we're ready to step into a new level, we will begin to bring a more extensive experience of that discord because we are bringing up together something to transform. And we've been doing that for a little bit now. And when you do it, just like what Catherine Ponder was saying, it's uncomfortable. It creates discord, criticism. We see things not being uplifted, but put down. And of course, one of the things that happens is that evidences itself in financial flow, just as Catherine Ponder said. Why? Because it's fear. And when we fear, we constrict, and we stop the flow of good in our lives. When we step into love, we expand, and that greater flow takes place. So we've seen that both in the presence of a greater degree of criticism and of a constriction of our financial flow here in our community. And that is fabulous. Because love brings that up. Because we have the power to transform it. And when we do that individually, we affect the whole. And when we do it as a whole, we strengthen every individual who's a part, who's going through that. Initiation into love. Now there's a woman whose experience touched me very deeply. She was at a point where she found out how to make that conscious choice. Her husband was depressed, seriously depressed, unable to get out of bed type depressed. And consequently, he wasn't working, and the income to the family dried up. She had a 19-year-old in college, and without the family support then, he had to get a job to keep in college, and that wasn't happening. She had a 13-year-old son who was emotionally disturbed. And what she saw in him was an increase of the expression of anger leading again and again into violence. Had to be deeply disturbing to a mother to see this in a 13-year-old boy. And she had a daughter who was a little younger, 11 or 12. And the daughter was withdrawing from everything around her. She was not engaging in school. She was in resistance to teachers. She was isolating herself from friends. And so the mother's looking at the family. And she herself was dealing with a kidney disease. Now, she'd already lost one kidney. So she was at a point within her own body that was threatening her capacity to be present in a healthy way in a body that worked. And she said she was a little overwhelmed. I can relate. I mean, I got overwhelmed reading the story. What do? Here's these difficult things for these people all around her. And, I'm sure she did as many moms would do. They just keep saying, get up, go do this, and pretty soon it's just flat old criticism. And of course it didn't work. And so in that point of desperation, she ran across a book. And the book suggested to her that love had the power to solve all problems. That it was truly powerful. That if she would use love, she could solve the problems that were in her life. And so she made a commitment to try to do that. What she did, she got a notebook. And every time that she thought an upset, a critical thought about anyone in her family or herself, any time that she started into the worry and anxiety around what was happening, she stopped, she wrote that person's name down. Then she wrote, I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. I behold you.
Your mic is totally out. So you need to your mic is totally out.
So John can hear me in?
Yeah, try a connector on the either out, yeah. I behold the mic. You guys.
Come give me a hand.
Here we go.
So I'll take Sheila's.
Okay.
Green. All right. How we doing? Yeah. We on? Okay. We're back. I'll turn my personal one off.
Okay.
Okay. So you start talking about love and things get fixed. I love it. This is really good. I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. What a thing to hold. For somebody, and look at who she's holding it for. I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. Join me. I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. Wow, think of somebody in your life that's blown it again. Let's do that for them. I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. Yeah. That's a different choice, isn't it? Love creates, uplifts, transforms. Once more. I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. Now, one amazing thing. I'm in awe of this woman. She did this with commitment every time those thoughts came up for 6 weeks. Sometimes I have a hard time hanging on to a week, 6 weeks. She focused, she did it, she made that commitment. At the end of 6 weeks, when she looked back, the first thing she said was her husband had gotten up, taken a bath, and cut his hair. Now, if you've lived in a world where someone is dealing with serious depression, you know that's a powerful step. In addition, he went and started doing his work. So that part of their world began to turn around. Her son in college got a job that paid his tuition. The boy who was acting out the violence, she said at 6 weeks when she looked back, it had been close to 3 weeks that there had not been one incidence of violence come up. The daughter who had been withdrawing from school and friends, her teachers had called and said, they're so pleased that she's back and things are getting much better. Her kidney problem was healed at the end of that 6 weeks. And because of that, she had enough energy, she actually had a job. So both she and her husband had stepped into financial flow because instead of affirming the fear, she affirmed the love. There is an amazing, beautiful understanding by Charles Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, and it's one of my favorites. He says, the more we talk about love, the stronger it grows in consciousness. And if we persist in thinking loving thoughts and speaking loving words, we are sure to bring into our experience the feeling of that great love that is beyond description, the very love of God. You may trust love to get you out of your difficulties. Isn't that an amazing promise? You may trust love to get you out of your difficulties. There is nothing too hard for it to accomplish for you if you put your confidence in it. Charles Fillmore is one of the great mystics of the American consciousness unfolding, because he had that capacity to see and understand the power that was within us. So let me ask, this week, my guess there'll be a chance come up to at least criticize somebody. Okay, odds are good that somebody in our world is going to blow it really good. Okay, and you probably already know who it is. Okay. How about a choice? I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. Would you do that with me? I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. What a way to relate every time. Every time we see that, what's wrong with you, them, me, whatever it is. Because love has brought this up to heal. That's the only reason it brings it up. And in this beautiful planet of choice, as creative beings with access to unlimited spiritual power, there is nothing that we can't heal. And when we do, life expands, flow expands, abundance expands, joy expands. The Taoists, Lao Tzu put it this way: see the world as yourself. Have faith in the way things are. Love the world as yourself. Then you can care for all things. Love the world as yourself. So what is it that when we love ourselves we're willing to do? We're willing to let that love in, aren't we? We're willing to receive it. Love the world as yourself. Whatever's out there, love it. Then you can care, because that's what care is. And one of my favorite, because this goes back to something that we were looking at some time ago, and we found a beautiful way of that one of the Hawaiian practices had embraced this, the Ho'oponopono work. And the understanding was that by getting into that place of love, by completely releasing all the judgments, everything that we held that was limiting, by going and doing that, a greater creation could come place. And their steps for doing that was, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. It's just another form of, I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. What a gift. My understanding, very seriously, is this means that we have the opportunity now to bring forth collectively and very powerfully a new and greater state of consciousness of love. Welcome to the the love initiation. Bless you.
David. Our heart ministers are available after the service today to offer prayer support for challenges or celebrations, and you may see them in the sanctuary, on the patio, on the grounds, and they are the ones wearing the lavender stoles, and at any time you can submit a prayer request from our website. I ask everyone to please take a connection card from the seat pocket in front of you. And we invite everyone to take a moment to fill out this card. And with the card, we can each request prayer support for something or someone in our lives. In addition to our heart ministers being available after the service for the wonderful experience of personal prayer. So go ahead and fill those out. And our spiritual focus this week is I behold you with the eyes of love. And the ushers will receive your card with the offering toward the end of the music. And it's time for our prosperity celebration. For credit card donations, there are envelopes on the clipboards in the seat pockets in front of you. And for those of you watching at home, just click on the donate button on our Watch Live page. Unity's co-founder, Charles Fillmore, taught that our spiritual connection opens us to God's abundance expressing in our lives. Poverty or prosperity, it all depends on you. All that the Father has is yours, but you alone are responsible for the relationship of the Father's good to your life. Through conscious recognition of your oneness with the Father and his abundance, you draw the living substance into visible supply. I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hands and be aware that God is the source of all your good. Please join me in our affirmation together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossoms on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies are all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. the pine. You know how I feel. Whoa, whoa, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. Whoa, and I'm feeling good. So good. And I'm feeling good. Feeling good. We are marching in the light of love. We are marching in the light of love. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are
All right. Isn't it easy just to open your heart and hold these beautiful greetings? Let's bless them together. Children, you are loved, special, and important. The light of God shines through you. Let's take hands and share together our prayer of protection. Together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God ever present. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
You are the love and the light and the peace in the earth right now. So let it shine and have fun.